Hey everyone, continue for our modulus transformations, we're looking at how do we actually apply this transformation along with the other transformations that we've learned thus far. And one thing to take note is that you're actually not required to actually transform, aka write down the transformation of a modulus graph, but you're required to at least know how to sketch the resultant graph from the y equals to fx graph. So what do I mean is, let's say we have y equals to f mod 2x plus a, then you're required to know how to sketch this graph after giving you the graph of y equals to fx. Alright, so nonetheless, I will need to teach you how to actually transform this graph so that you can at least know how to sketch it. Alright, now if we have the first example, y equals to f mod 2x plus a, now you notice that the modulus also applies to a. Alright, which means one thing. Let's do some experimentation. Alright, so if we let's say mod first, alright, so we had y equals to fx. If we were to mod first, we're gonna get y equals to f mod x. And now if you were to translate afterwards, we then have y equals to f mod, everything applies to the x, so the modulus would be inside the a as well, or rather the a will be inside the modulus as well. As such, for this case, you need to modulus first. Alright, so if you were to mod first, so first you modulus, and you'll get y equals to f mod x. Alright, then afterwards you translate. Of course, afterwards you follow the AMMA rule. You can choose to scale first, otherwise you can just simply translate first. Right, and translate by a units, you then have y equals to f mod x plus a. Of course, this will be in a, depending on a, what value a is, either in a positive or negative x direction. Then afterwards, you scale to give you back the 2x. Alright, you notice that your translation won't be affected by the scale. Now, in the second example, you notice that now the translation is outside of the modulus. And you're just down to one thing, really. It's just reverse the thing, right? Because you don't want the translation to be inside the modulus, which means that you cannot translate first. You cannot modulus first. You need to translate first. So you translate first, you get f mod, mod first, x plus a. Alright, then after you modulus, because you're only applying the modulus to our x variable, you are only affecting the x variable only. Alright, you won't be touching the plus a. Thereafter, you can scale. In fact, you can actually scale first, then modulus, or modulus then scale first, because it is 2. Alright, you can scale by 2 and then you put the modulus, it doesn't matter, it is equivalent. Alright, because mod 2x is the same as 2 mod x. Alright, in fact, you can even scale by that results in minus 2 or 2, because we know that minus 2x equals to mod 2x, right? It's the same thing, right? Okay, now from here, what next? Alright, so now we have the last example, y equals to f 2x mod 2x plus a mod, then whole thing plus b, and then closing the bracket. So now we know that we have to, alright, we have a translation outside and a translation inside the modulus. So what should we do first? Now, if you notice, if we were to apply the mod first, every translation that we use would be inside the modulus, which we don't want. However, if we were to translate first and then modulus, we notice that we have a translation that is outside. And from here, we can then translate again, which means that from here, we will need to translate first. Alright, so this is slightly more higher level. Translate first by plus b, then you'll get y equals to f x plus b. Alright, actually should be minus b, but yeah, you guys get it. Then after from here, you then apply the modulus, so that now you can isolate the modulus and then translate from there, which now you get y equals to f mod x plus b. From here, you then translate again by plus a, or rather minus a, but it's the same thing. Translate, actually, you know what, just say translate plus a. You then have y equals to f mod x plus a plus b on the outside. Then lastly, we then need to just scale. With scale factor 2, you then get y equals to f mod 2x plus a plus b. Alright, and that is how we do our modulus transformations. Again, don't need to actually write down the transformations, but you're required to sketch the graph of the resulting graph, and this is what I'm going to go through after covering the next graph that you need to know, which is the reciprocal graph.